literature is that God gives freedom to everyone to be enjoyed without oppression. Some characteristics we found were extremely elegant and educated writing styles and topics of endurance. An idea we found was that freedom and a new life are not always synonymous.
Thomas Paine was born in England in a poorly educated family. He started his career as a journalist in Philadelphia and later published what is considered the most important written work in support of the American independence, Common Sense. Thomas Paine wrote of the war effort and used his writing to motivate the military through their struggles. He kept his writing literal and gave his readers a personal connection to the hardships of the new colonies in America.
Olaudah Equiano was born in Nigeria in 1745 as part of the Igbo tribe. When he was still a child, he was kidnapped for the slave trade along with his sister. After being forced apart, Equiano worked as a slave for 3 different masters. However, when he was 21, he had saved up enough money to buy his freedom. Olaudah was an anti-slavery advocate and wrote many pieces addressing the topic. He literally fought for his freedom through hardships such as slavery and a war.
A piece of literature representative of the era is Patrick Henry's speech to the Virginia Convention. Following another speech which had promoted patience and peacekeeping toward the British government, Henry stood and pointed out that this tactic had been in place for a while, and it had achieved nothing but further British occupation and no gains in freedom or in rights. He said that now was the time to fight for what they believed in and follow their brothers in other colonies who had already taken up arms. He ended with his famous quote, "Give me liberty or give me death." The speech is representative of the era because his time period was filled with people searching for freedom, setting out to a new land, escaping persecution, and throwing off oppression. Henry embodied the spirit of the times and lit the fire of freedom in people's hearts. Patrick Henry is encouraging the people of his colony to fight for their new life and freedom and is willing to suffer the hardship of death.
Another piece of literature representative of the era is a poem by Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz, World in Hounding Me. World in hounding me, what do you gain? How can it harm you if I choose astutely rather to stock my mind with things of beauty than wasted stock on every beauty's claim? Costliness and wealth bring me no pleasure. The only happiness I care to find derives from setting treasure in my mind, and not from mind that's set on winning treasure. I prize no comeliness. All fair things pay to time, the victor. Their appointed fee and treasure cheats even the practiced eye. Mine is the better and the truer way, to leave the vanities of life aside, not throw away my life on vanity. During the colonial era, when people were just beginning to come to America, there were many rumors of streets paved with gold and the promise of making a fortune. However, many immigrants were disappointed in their discovery of challenges and hardships in the New World. Inez expresses in this poem that he has found a greater meaning in life and the materialistic disappointments will not faze him. The theme of World in Hounding Me is the notion that people should focus more on intellectual insights rather than on fleeting material vanities. The author's last statement summarizes the theme in saying, "Mine is the better and truer way, to leave the vanities of life aside, not throw away my life on vanity." Part of the American dream is seeking a better life and enjoying freedom. Unfortunately, there are many examples in our society which prove that those with greater fortune often have more power and freedom. But everyone has the right to enjoy freedom in America without being oppressed. That's why this poem has valuable insight for those seeking relief from oppression. Even when an economic situation does not look promising, Inez reminds readers that the gold and silver which is sought after by the world is nothing in comparison to the riches one's mind can unlock. In relation to seeking a better life, it is not always riches which bring success. Instead, success is found in developing your mind and seeking greater knowledge.
One way in which our American dream connects to the literature we studied in class through The Great Gatsby. James Gatsby literally created a new life when he became Jay Gatsby. His hardships consisted of cutting all ties with his old life, and once he met Daisy, his goal was to become rich for her, and to accomplish this goal he had to escape poverty by turning to bootlegging. In The Color of Water, both Ruth and James fought for a different kind of life than the one in which they were raised. Ruth turned her back on family, heritage, and religion in order to find freedom and a new life, while James fought racial discrimination and financial insecurities to become a respected journalist and author.
The article Mining the Burial North by Nancy Langston is about the Norse colonizing the taiga. The new freedom and land for the Norse made the Sami life harder. They had to change their word because of the new colonies of their land.
Much of the artwork done during and about this period is symbolic as well. The picture on the top left shows early colonists reaching the New World. A big idea of the time was the escape from the old and the foundation of something new. Our country is based on a great deal of risk and competition, however, as symbolized by the bottom picture. For many, the American dream was one of wealth and contentment. They saw the New World as a land of riches and opportunity. Many were disappointed, however, upon realizing that not everyone could strike it rich, and many fell into the same old ruts as they had in the old world. However, with family and those loved by them in the New World, anyone could be happy.
This piece, The Storm is Passing Over, has been arranged various times for choral groups as an encouraging gospel song. The lyrics repeat a phrase of hope to "Take courage, my soul, and let us journey on," because the storm is passing over. This statement is a great representation of the American dream as we have defined it to be a pursuit of a new life despite hardships. Even when the night is dark and challenges abound, the morning light appears and there is hope to carry on. The idea that one can overcome hardships to find a better life is the whole premise of the American dream. Another piece representative of the era is One Day by Lady Antebellum. When families first came to America to make a new life for themselves, they faced many challenges and might have doubted themselves when things got rough. This song focuses on those times when one needs to find the strength to rise above. You wake up every morning and ask yourself, what am I doing here anyway, with the weight of all those disappointments whispering in your ear. That excerpt expresses the doubts and regrets some of the colonists faced with those first couple of years in America. However, as they lived the American dream by pursuing freedom, they surely would have found that down the road the sun is shining and every cloud there's a silver lining. Despite having a rough start, colonists were able to make a better life for their families and enjoy freedom in America. Part of the American dream is making a new life for yourself, and oftentimes this requires gaining independence. To follow your dream is to make beneficial decisions for yourself that will carry you closer to your goal. From my experience, it can be difficult sometimes to be independent. Some of the toughest choices come when you have to leave certain things behind in order to get closer to your dream. While making independent decisions can be a big responsibility, I have found that independence means freedom. I made a decision last summer to start attending a new church in order to grow more in my faith. It has helped me to be more independent and decide that my beliefs are my own, and I no longer identify faith as something only my parents have, but I do as well. This is just one decision that has allowed me to have more freedom to pursue the new life that I want. The American dream includes pursuing freedom of religion, freedom from oppression, freedom of speech, freedom to accomplish any goal set in your mind. I do believe I'm living the American dream as I continue to make decisions that bring me closer to the person I am called to be.
I was born a shy child and was homeschooled through kindergarten. At the start of first grade, my mother forced me to begin public school. Being the shy, reserved child I was, the only way for me to cope with my new environment was to cry, so I cried my way through the first few weeks of first grade. I've always been a natural outsider among other people, having never conformed to the beliefs, ideas, or styles of others. My insistence for this unique lifestyle didn't help me fit in any better, and I quickly became an outcast within my peers. Although I was starting new, the new beginning was not a good one. It brought me hardships and terror that I never would have experienced in the safety of my home. With this new freedom of expression, I have had the opportunity to become who I am today, a strong-willed individual who has the courage to be herself.
Leaving your family and going to college is both a modern reenactment of the early American dream and its manifestation. The pursuit of freedom and success is the American dream, and for many people, that pursuit includes a university education. It's scary, though, preparing to leave your family and strike out on your own, but that's the point. The American dream includes risk, so it's the lucky, determined, and resourceful who achieve success.
I've known since I was a child that I would love reading because my dad would read stories to me every night. By kindergarten, I couldn't wait to learn how to find and discover the stories myself. However, I was probably the worst reader in my age group. I was months behind the class, and no matter how long Mom or Dad would work with me on reading, it was a struggle and didn't leave anyone feeling good about my process. However, once I had the basics down, I made huge ground. By fourth grade, I was reading Dickens for